If you're watching this of time of upload, happy Aries season. Has anybody else just been hit by nostalgia? I don't know. I feel like it's just me. These decks look so like colorful under this lighting. Oh my god. Hi. Hello. Welcome back to my witch obsession. And in today's pick a card, pick a deck reading, we will be asking who wishes they could or could have shoot their shot with you or shot their shot. And the reason I'm doing past tense is because like I feel like like it kind of covers a broader horizon and the messages can be more encompassing. There we go. But yeah, I was thinking about this because I took myself on a date yesterday, which like before y'all are like, oh my god, that's so cute, look at you, self-love, king, whatever. I honestly did it because my friend rain checked and I was like, I'm dead set on going out today and I ain't got no one to go with, so I'm gonna take myself out. But yeah, I got some stuffs and oh my god, yesterday I woke up like really late because I've been staying up really late. Oh my gosh, I'll talk about it in the ramble, but I was in a restaurant and I was watching this TV and I kept seeing like basketball and I was like just thinking about like video ideas. I was like, I wonder who wanted to shoot their shot with me. And I was like, I literally have an entire channel where I can ask that exact question. So let me do that and read for my besties online. But yeah. So I'm really excited because I also feel like this video kind of has like a light-hearted feel to it. I feel like love readings can be like really touchy or kind of like, like emotional. And like not often like because it's like hard to find love readings in my opinion that aren't like feeding delusions or like like too crazy. So like I don't know, I just feel like this has like a lighthearted feel to it, because it's like even if it doesn't resonate, it's just like it's just entertaining to listen to, but like even better if it resonates for you. But today we have 4 piles, as you can see. So we have pile 1 with the Tarot of the Divine, pile 2 with the Seventh Spirit Tarot, pile 3 with the Prism Tarot, and then pile 4 with the Mermaid Tarot. So if you've already chosen your pile, then proceed. But if you want to listen to me ramble for an extra minute or 2 or 3, then hi. Oh my gosh, you guys. So yesterday I literally stayed up until 7 a.m. playing video games with my friend. And it was literally so exciting. It was so much fun. And then this guy, like, we kept getting matched up against this guy. And he, like, messaged me and he was like, must be nice getting good teams. And I messaged him back and I was like, I love you, I'm sorry. Like, it's not like that. It's not personal. And it was just so, like, hilarious. Like, I felt genuinely bad. But I think he was for real mad. So it was like, no comment. But yesterday, 2 of my packages that I ordered came in. And honestly, starting the day out, like, getting a package is like, it sets the dopamine bar high AF. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a material girl. Like, I do not care. I will be open about the fact that I love luxury. This is, like, in the way. Actually, I don't know. I feel like I kind of liked it there. But anyways, it was so nice. So let me show you what I got in the mail, actually. So first of all, I ordered another one of those vintage candles that I've been showing y'all because a lot of you guys, or at least people seem to have liked the pick a candle. I mean, I liked it, so I was like, ain't no one was saying anything about it. So I got this one. It's chocolate dipped strawberries. And it smells kind of like a baked good, but this candle is freaky because I remember I seen this candle when I was little and like I don't have a clear memory of it because I can't tell because I was in this house and it was full of these candles and this was one of the scents and like I remember like when I think about it I'm like, was that a memory or was that like a dream? So it's like it's hard to tell, but like the scent exists and I remember what it looks like, so it's like, you know what I mean? Anyways, the other thing that I got was this super cute chain, and it's actually from HRH Collection. Oh god. It's really long because it's like a multi-chain, and it's like, it has like an industrial feel to it. Oh, it's so nice. I love HRH Collection. This is my first time ever buying from them, and you best believe I'm gonna buy from them again because they're also like a small business pretty much. So, and like this is really nice. It's like stainless steel, and it's totally worth. I don't know, y'all. Like before, like I send y'all to y'all's reading, I just feel like spending a little extra coin just to know where that coin is going is just like really like alleviating, especially when it comes to like accessories. Cheap clothes, expensive accessories, point blank, period. That's how we should be doing it, y'all. Or at least that's how I feel like we should be doing it. You know, if you don't do that, then, you know, that's not your cup of tea. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening to me ramble. See you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the Tarot of the Divine, this will be your reading for who wishes they could or could have shot or shoot their shot with you. There we go. That was confusing. But before we get into it, I have some oracle cards. You guys know the vibe. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So for your oracle cards, we have Witch, Dolphin, and Rejection. So right off the bat, pile 1, with the Dolphin card and the Witch card, I feel like this is one of those people, like class clown vibes. Class clown, but also gets all A's somehow. You know what I mean? It makes me think of somebody who is very playful, very, you know, like naive, but like also just like surprisingly cunning and intelligent and somewhat emotionally careful, you know? And I feel like they're just like a very jolly-hearted person. Like with the Dolphin card, I get like a lot of playful energy, you know, dolphins are very emotive, they're very like sensitive, they're mammals. And that's like another thing with the Dolphin card. Like I feel like when we're growing up and we find out that dolphins are like not fish and they're mammals, it's like one of those moments where you're like, what do you mean? You know? So I feel like that definitely probably translates to this person. I feel like this person is definitely like a little bit too jolly hearted in the sense that like they may have like an intense fear of rejection, and maybe that's why they didn't, you know, shoot their shot with you, or they didn't make a move on you. And with the Witch card, they could also be very into spirituality. They could be very much into practices, or they may be very religious. I just feel like something about them is just like the sense of they're very fascinated by the occult, or they could be into astrology. They could be one of those people that wears a lot of crystals or has a very eclectic way of dressing. But something about them just like, it feels like, you know, they are very, how do I say, creative, and they are very different when it comes to their approaches on different things, especially when it comes to like energies and stuff like that. I feel like, because I'm not getting this vibe that they're like a very like someone who, you know, reads tarot, or you know, is working with divination and things of the sorts, but rather somebody who is very cautious with their energy, and somebody who is very much aware of their own emotions and aware of their environment, and very understanding of the circumstances when it comes to those things that I just mentioned. And they could be a water sign, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I'm especially getting a lot of emphasis on Pisces. I just feel like Pisces is like the most relevant sign here. This could be somebody who may also struggle with vices with the emphasis on Pisces. So they could be somebody who just has like a weird, they may be someone who doesn't live very routine based, or somebody who lives pretty intuitively, if you know what I mean. They're not somebody who, you know, follows through with strict routines, or like maybe they're kind of like flaky, or they don't follow through on plans that often. Because like with Pisces makes me think of the 12th house, and the 12th house makes me think of, you know, mystery and things like that. So this person could be very mysterious or very health oriented, or somebody who could like work in hospitals, since 12th house does talk about that stuff. Obviously 12th house isn't just hospitals, and that's very like situational and very circumstantial based on like, you know, the circumstances. But you know, it's just, I feel like for some of you, like whether or not this person is very health oriented, it's just like, even the way I'm talking, like this is my point, you know, like this is somebody who is very inconsistent, and somebody who is very playful and gets distracted very easily, but at the same time they're also like really smart when they buckle down on something. I feel like when they are motivated, they have strong capacity, you know. It's like when they're very focused on something, it's like laser focused, you know, they're so invested and they're so into it. But when they're not invested, or when they're like even 1% not feeling it, they can't get themselves to do anything, they can't focus on it, you know. It's like they literally can't do dishes. Like they literally just would rather anything but do the dishes. But then somehow they can like complete like a 1,000 piece puzzle in like 15 minutes if they're feeling up to it, you know? It's just like the way this person divides their attention span and the way they distribute this attention and the way that they put focus on things is very like dynamic, and to some maybe even stressful or like really weird. But it's just like this person's just so charming that like you really wouldn't think twice about it. They could also be a Libra in that case. I feel like Libra is like, you know, like they're very charming. But this person, I feel as if though the reason that they didn't really reach out to you is obviously they could have been fear of like, they could have been afraid of rejection, or they just like didn't know how to go about it, you know. I feel like this person is not very good at confrontation. They're not very good at asserting themselves. I feel like the best way that this person likes to assert themselves is through their charm or being, you know, charming. But yeah, let's get into the tarot. But like, I just feel like this person likes joking around a lot. This person like is very playful. Maybe like you could like say like dumb, you know, like I don't know how to explain it. I definitely don't feel as if though this is somebody that like you were particularly expecting, or I feel like, you know, I feel like this person is really bad at hiding their emotions, or somebody who's pretty like hiding things. If anything, you probably knew that they like felt some type of way towards you before they knew, because they are just that lost in the sauce when it comes to their feelings and their perception of their own reality and their focus. But it's definitely easy to tell that this person has realized it lately, or like this person definitely knew that there was something really cool or like very special about you in their eyes. But it's very easy to tell that this person like really wanted to indirectly, I feel like this person didn't even want like a clear like defined moment where, you know, they could shoot the shot with you and then like, you know, get together with you and things like that. I feel like they didn't want that entire process, because once again, I feel like this is somebody who goes against social norms. They could also be an Aquarius in that case, especially like Aquarius Venus. But I feel like this person just like has a very interesting way, and they don't really like define situations like that, you know. I feel like they're somebody who likes to kind of go about things intuitively, and they like when things just kind of happen on their own. I feel like this is just somebody who really appreciates organic emotional moments, you know, and somebody who doesn't really like to influence their surroundings too much. They like to kind of take things in as they come about them and as things go. So yeah, who is this person that wishes they could have shoot their shot with pile 1? Who is this person that wanted to shoot their shot with pile 1? Alright, the overall energy is King of Wands. Yeah, this person could be like very flamboyant. I love using that word. So glad to be back at it. But I just feel like this person is very playful. And I feel like they're also very motivated. It gives me like Leo vibes, or like 5th house placements. I'm not really seeing that they could have those placements, but you know, they do. But I just feel as if though with this King of Wands, it gives me this vibe that like this is the kind of person that is just like very invested in creative pursuits. They could be somebody who really wants to do creative things, or somebody, you know, who wants to make music or wants to be a content creator, an influencer, you know, a small business owner, you know. I feel like this person strongly dislikes structure, and they probably really don't like, well, they like structure, but you know, they don't like too much structure, you know. They don't like when things are very tight knitted, and I feel like they're the kind of person that likes to just like kind of invest in their hobbies, invest in what makes them feel good and creative and inspired. So I feel like in that sense, this person probably really doesn't like 9-to-5s, and perhaps this whole like, with that being said, I feel like they are somebody who maybe didn't like working, or somebody who had like, you know, if they did have a job, they're always late, or there's somebody who is just kind of like always running late. They're the kind of person where like they'll be like, okay, like I'll come get you at like, you know, you'll be like, oh, I'm on my way, like, and they'll be like, okay, I left, you know, it's just like I'll be ready by 8:40, and then at 8:40 is like when they decide to get out of bed to start getting ready, you know what I mean? Just somebody who is like a huge procrastinator. They could also be a huge lagger if you happen to talk to this person. They could be somebody who is just like maybe a little bit difficult to get a hold of. Once again, with the whole, if they're not feeling it, then they just might not do it. And with that case, I feel like a lot of you probably rejected this person, or like this person knew that like you would reject them, or that this person knew that you wouldn't really be into them like that. And I'm not saying like, oh, like all of you are not into this person. I feel like for some of you, like obviously it differs from situation to situation, but it's pretty safe to say that like how this person feels is that they feel as if though like you would reject them, you know, whether or not you actually would. And I feel like that's what it kind of boils down to. Eight of Swords. Yeah, this person, I feel like this person kind of got hung up over you. With the Eight of Swords, it definitely makes me feel like this person felt very restricted. And they could also be like a huge overthinker. With that being said, they could be kind of clingy or overly emotional, especially if they do have water sign placements. And I feel like maybe they're also a little bit controlling or a little bit possessive. But like, in a very charming way. You know what I mean? You know, like that subtle manipulation. And I feel like manipulation kind of has like a negative connotation to it, like rightfully so. But like when I say manipulation, I don't mean like this person is like, you know, like pulling strings, like puppet master vibes, but more as someone who uses their charm and their sweetness and their jolly nature to kind of sway people in a specific direction, you know? And somebody who just like, they could really get whatever they want with just a smile, you know? They could have a very nice smile. Like I'm sensing somebody who has like a very charming demeanor, and somebody who could also be very romantically alluring, you know. Perhaps this person could be like, you know, depending on the scale of like how mature this person is, they could be very promiscuous, or they could be somebody who has had a lot of passing love affairs. It makes me think of like a Cancer with like a Pisces placement, like just those signs together, you know, whether or not they have those placements. It makes me think of somebody who is very, that can be very emotionally insecure, and through that emotional insecurity they kind of cope with it through like like passing romantic flares, or like, you know, like, you know, just like sexual encounters and things like that. Anything that deals with connection, anything that deals with like intimacy. They could have intimacy or commitment issues, but that's for some of you, not all of you. But it's pretty safe to say that this person just like, they have like a very interesting and like a very like, not like, they could sometimes be like self-destructive in the way that they express their emotions, or in the way that they kind of process things, or the way they cope, you know. Once again, with that whole 12th house Pisces theme, you know, it doesn't, I say these signs as like like confirmation for those that need it, but I really do feel like for a vast majority of you, this person like really like has a lot of 12th house influence on them, you know. Like even in their 12th house they could have like a water sign in there. But you know, it's pretty safe to say that this person is just like very like hot and cold. And I definitely do feel as if though this person could have stressed you out by one. I ain't even gonna lie. Or somebody that like, this person is definitely probably really confusing and very dynamic. They could be like an introverted extrovert, or like an extroverted introvert. Just, you know what I mean? Just somebody who is just like, they can't really fit into one category, and you can't really just like, you know, like chalk them up to one thing. I feel like they kind of fit into different scenarios and different situations here. And what I mean by that is I feel like this person is kind of like a Swiss Army knife, especially when it comes to emotions, because it really does seem as if though this person isn't like, they're very like fluid, you know, like they don't really identify as one thing. They could be very fluid when it comes to their identity, so they could go by like they them, or they could be somebody who doesn't put too much importance on how they're addressed in terms of like pronouns, or like, you know, like identity. Or they could be somebody who is very non-discriminatory. And what I mean by that is, you know, like they are very open-minded, and they are somebody who is just like not too discerning, or somebody who's not too overly critical of people around them. And like I feel like that kind of feeds into the how they're able to cope with their emotional insecurity in some ways, of like, you know, like getting with people, or like hooking up and things like that. And I feel like because of that, this person probably has like a really promiscuous background, like I said. But for some of, that's for some of you, not all of you. I feel like if that isn't the case, it could definitely translate in other ways, you know. Like they could be very non-committal, starting projects and never finishing them, you know, going through it, like saying like, hey, let's hang out, but then they like never do. Or they like have a lot of passing romantic affairs, you know, they get to know somebody, and then like suddenly they just like, okay, I'm done, like bye. Like, or like, you know, they're like, oh, like it's me, not you, you know, that kind of vibe, that kind of person, you know. Just somebody who like is very susceptible to emotional immaturity if they don't really handle those feelings properly. What else? We also have the Chariot. Yes, I'm saying they could literally be a Cancer. And with the Chariot card, I also do feel as if though this person could be very, they could be very direct when it comes to like their goals. I definitely do feel like this is a very goal oriented person. I'm sensing that makes them very attractive. I feel like they put a lot of importance on their status and their identity. And when I say identity, obviously I don't mean like what I just mentioned earlier about this person being fluid. It could be that, but also this person could just be the type of person who is very goal oriented. Like they're like, oh, I want to be this, this, and this. I want to go to this school, or like I want this job, or like I want to be this, or like I want this kind of person. Just somebody who is very I want, and somebody who has no problem understanding where they want to go, especially in terms of career and home. I feel like this person may put a lot of emphasis on comfort. They could dress very comfortably. They could be somebody who has a very nice house. They could be somebody who has like a very nice family. But something about home life and something about their family is very prominent here. Perhaps you know their family, or perhaps their family, wanted you to get with them. But, for others of you, I feel as if though like this whole like forward movement thing with this Chariot card, and also with Cancer literally being here because the Chariot rules over Cancer, I feel as if though this person could also be very emotionally hesitant. I feel like this person, like, they have like a specific capacity to how much they share their feelings. It's like there's a certain point where they just stop sharing. There's some confidential information that they withhold from literally everybody in the store. Like, not even their mama knows about this. Like, there are some things that they just do not tell a single soul, but like they kind of give off this vibe of being like, I feel like once you first get to know them, they give off this vibe that they're very like emotionally open or very transparent. They could be a Sagittarius, or they could have like a Sag rising, but like someone that comes off as very open, somebody that comes off as very blunt, or very like, like, oh wow, this person's so honest and stuff. But as you get to know them, you start to feel as if though they are definitely withholding information, or that they are hiding something, or there's something else going on. I feel like this person's very easy to read too in that sense. It's kind of easy to tell that they're upset, or it's kind of easy to tell that something's bothering them. I feel as if though this person like wears their heart on their sleeves a lot. But I feel as if though this person can be very confusing in that sense, in the sense that like, you're like, oh, are you okay? And then they're like, yeah, I'm fine. But they're literally like, there's like tears rolling down their face. Like, girl, are you really okay? Like, girl. But I do feel as if though this person just like, they really also with the Chariot card, I feel as if though like they could be kind of a hopeless romantic, and definitely comes back to that whole commitment phobe thing. They could have fantasized very far of you. I want to say this person, pile one, like they really thought about you pretty far ahead too. Like I feel like this is that type of person that maybe likes the thrill of the chase, but they could have hyper fixated on you for a while. They could have literally daydreamed about moving in with you, maybe even having a family with you, because we have Cancer themes here. They could fantasize about you in so many different ways, especially like with a chest, because Cancer rules over the chest. But that's for some of you, not all of you. Also thighs with the Sagittarius coming through. But I just felt called to mention that. But anyways, I just feel like this person just like really fantasized about you and kind of like hyper fixated on you, like romantically. And I feel like you may not even realize it. Like maybe for some of you, you kind of thought about it, or like, oh, like this person definitely likes me. But I don't think that any of you truly understand to the depth of which this person actually thought about you. I don't think that y'all really understand, like, this person was, like, low-key into, like, this person was, like, low-key, like, simping over you, and you kind of don't even realize it. But let's see what else we got here. The World. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this person definitely could have thought about moving in with you, or, like, traveling with you. I feel like this person, like, also really daydreamed about, like, going on a vacation with you, or, like, you could have met this person abroad, or this person could, like, live very far away from you. For some of you, I'm sensing that this could have been like an online affair, or like this was like you met this person through like a dating app, or like you met this person like, through a friend of a friend, just like through very unconventional or very like unpredictable means, like this person came through you very indirectly and somehow like became relevant in your life within a short amount of time, but then became irrelevant within the same amount of time. You know, they came in and came out pretty quickly. But I feel as if though this person definitely wishes that they could have like been part of your life a little longer, or like had more time to get to know you, or had more time to invest in you more, or, you know, shoot that shot of theirs. But, you know, obviously like this kind of differs from person to person, because like you could still be in contact with this person, and I feel like some of you could be watching this reading like, girl, they better make their move quick, or they better say something, or they could be honest about it, you know, like I'm not tolerating that. But for others of you, like you could literally just not be in contact with this person, and I feel like you know who I'm talking about, pile one, but you haven't really thought about them or talked to them in a really long time. You know, like I feel like this reading is very dynamic in the sense that it's like one or the other in terms of extremes. You know, you could literally not be in contact with this person at all, but for others of you, you could have literally texted this person like 15 minutes ago, you know? It's just like, it really depends. But I will say that like across the board, this person just like, this person definitely feels some type of way towards you, and they've been thinking about you periodically. I feel like with the Eight of Swords here, like they could have thought about you this whole time. You know, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if this reading is their way of trying to reach out to you or manifesting you. And like maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you're like, oh, this person's just trying to get through to me and I completely forgot about them. But yeah, let's pull one more card before we kind of wrap things up here. We also have Five of Cups. I'm saying like this reading feels very like typical. You know, it feels very cliche. But with the Five of Cups, definitely just very devastated. You know, very upset that they didn't get their chance of you, or like that they, I feel like this is like that trope where somebody like, you know, like 100% of shots that you don't take are missed. You know, I feel like this person really regrets the way that they handle their emotions, and really regrets that they may have, you know, like valued their pride or their ego more in these moments, and maybe they never like, because they never got to like shoot their shot with you, they like feel very disappointed in both the situation and in themselves. They're like, wow, like I really didn't make a move at all, you know, like. And I feel like the universe is maybe like, you know, biting them in the arse about it, being like, sending them like those motivational posts on Instagram being like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know what I'm saying? Like, this person's embarrassed is what I'm trying to say here. This person's low-key feeling some type of like they are embarrassed. They are like mortified. They're like they're just like speechless. Their jaw's literally on the floor right now, and they're like screaming, but I don't know. But I just feel like with that Five of Cups, what I'm trying to say is like they feel very disappointed, and they feel like these spilled cups are the fact that they never got to be with you, or they never got to, you know, get to know you more, or like got to see how you felt about them, or, you know, they never got to see if they had a chance at all, you know. And I feel like these upright cups are definitely the situation that you're like, I mean, like, I definitely don't feel as if though like I think a good majority of y'all are just like, nah, I don't want this person. Like, you could be in a relationship, or you could just be like, girl, like, I'm not into this person, like, I don't want this, or like, I don't want them anyways, like, they're just weird. But, you know, that's for some of you, not all of you. And I feel like for some of you, it's just like, I don't think you would have said no to this person, but I also just, what I mean by that is I feel like you would have been open to getting to know this person more, and kind of like letting the dust settle in a more organized fashion. But like, because this person like didn't take their shot at all, they missed everything, and because of that they feel probably like really embarrassed and really disappointed, very devastated for some, because this person could have really had the feels for you, you know, especially if this was somebody that like got to know you even closer, or like on a more intimate level. But yeah, that's all I'm picking up on. I think I'm going to summarize this reading by saying that this person definitely is like a very emotional person, and somebody who has like a pretty thick resume when it comes to the dating world, or when it comes to like, you know, like emotional mishaps and situationships. And I feel as if though for some of you, you could even lean towards this person being very promiscuous, but for the vast majority, like, this person is very emotional, and sometimes very like, you know, like go with the flow, and very like non-controlling, or very like not too focused on structure, or not too focused on routine, or, you know, getting things together in a timely manner. They could be a huge procrastinator, somebody who's surprisingly cunning though, and somebody who's surprisingly intelligent, and is able to really take people off guard with their amount of intuition and like just intelligence in general. You know, this person is surprisingly smart, surprisingly, you know, like cunning. You know, that's what I keep thinking. Like this person could be really sneaky on the low. Yeah, this person definitely hyper fixated on you for a little bit emotionally. You know, it could have been any amount of time. For some of you, it could have literally been like 15 minutes. For the rest of you, it could have literally been like 15 months. But it's pretty safe to say that there was a moment where this person was like really feeling you and feeling, you know, very entranced by you, and felt a lot of passion for you and really wanted to travel with you for some of you. But ultimately, they didn't do it because they were afraid of rejection. And like obviously, that's like a very like anticlimactic or like a very, you know, like typical way to end that. But it's pretty safe to say that this person just didn't want, it's very cliche in the sense that they didn't want to be rejected, in the sense that they could also perceive you as very intelligent. And I feel as if though this person feared that you would give them a mouthful for even trying, but now they're just kind of regretting it because they are realizing like there's no reason to be so upset, you know, because you're like not even a mean person. But yeah, that's all I'm picking up for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for watching. If the reading resonated, do like, comment, and subscribe. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Again, I love you. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose the 7th Spear Tarot, this is going to be your reading for who wishes they could have shoot or shot their shot with you. That's what I said for Pile 1. That's what I'm sticking with. But so before we get into the tarot, you know the vibe. We have some oracle cards here, so let's just jump right into it. So for your oracle cards, we have the Fool, the Elk, and Hope. I'm not gonna lie, Pile 2, I do feel as if though this is an ongoing thing. Pile 1 felt more like past tense, but like this one feels like it's like right now. Like this person is probably thinking about you like right now. Like not to be like, oh, this person's thinking about you right now, but you know what I mean? Like this person definitely has thought of you quite recently, you know, whether that be 15 minutes ago or 15 weeks ago, you know. And I don't want that to come off like, oh my gosh, Pile 2, like this person is thinking about you. But with this Hope card here, it just leads me to believe that this is an ongoing thing right now. And this is somebody that you probably know in like your inner circle, because I feel like this person with the Elk card is a more masculine energy. They don't have to be a man, but they're just somebody who, you know, acts very masculine. And they could also be very reserved, or somebody who is very shy, somebody who's very bashful, you know. It makes me think of like just like that, like this guy that's like at a party and they're like really quiet and they're like not talking to anybody, and they're just like sitting next to the punch bowl being like a wallflower, you know. But I feel like with the Fool card here, this could also be somebody who is very naive or somebody who is very adventurous. They could be very, I get like a lot of like dynamic energy from this reading, because I feel as if though this person is like on one hand very reserved, very problem solving, and somebody who takes action quite most of the time, and somebody who is very motivated, you know, and somebody who is very intentional with their steps, but like at the same time they're very emotionally naive, and somebody who probably maybe even doesn't put that much value in their emotions or like emotions in general, especially with the fact that with the Elk card, like this is like an Earth card. At least I think that's Earth. If it's not Earth, don't make fun of me, okay guys? It's not like that. But it makes me think of somebody who really appreciates practicality and, you know, logic and, you know, being pragmatic as opposed to being intuitive and being emotional. And I feel like in that sense, there's just this kind of like vibe of like being very smart in the 3D, but beyond that, they are just very like immature, and somebody who like you could literally be like, hey yo, like you're an Aries, that means you're very headstrong and like a leader, and they're like, oh my gosh, like that's so accurate, like how did that, I don't really believe in that stuff, but like that's scary accurate, you know. And you're just like, dude, I just told you an Aries, and Aries just like taking control, and like, no, but like, you know what I mean? Like just somebody who is very uneducated when it comes to the occult and when it comes to things, anything of the sorts, you know. They could be somebody who looks at like if they were watching a tarot video and it like in any way resonated, they're like, this is witchcraft, like I'm getting a hex put on me right now. Like there's they could be somebody who's like, I don't believe in astrology, you know. But that's for some of you, not all of you. You know, it's that vibe, you know, of being very stubborn when it comes to those things. This person could also be very stubborn with the Elk card here. This could be somebody who really likes things to go their way. We have a lot of Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo here, especially Taurus. Like I don't know what it is about this person. Like I feel like a Capricorn wouldn't even like be all confusing like that, and if they are, like, I don't know, like you're in the twilight zone. But you know, it could be a Capricorn, but I just feel like Taurus is put like on the spotlight here because I feel like that is that like stubborn energy of refusing to believe something unless, like, you know, you open your mind to it yourself, you know. And I feel like because of that, maybe this person puts, like, with the Taurus energy, this person could also put like a lot of value on materials and things of the sort. So what I mean by that is they could be somebody who chases status through money or through, you know, social settings. You know, they could be somebody who likes to go out to party. They could be somebody who, you know, really likes working. You know, they put a lot of their value on their grind or on their craft, you know. They could be somebody who is just like very into status when it comes to like materialism, you know. They could have like a nice car, they could have nice things, and they put a lot of like their identity on those things, you know. I'm like, it just makes me think of somebody who is just like very materialistic, you know. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but you know, I feel as if though like this person is just very naive when it comes to the emotions and anything of the sorts, and therefore they put a lot of value on the 3D and, you know, what's directly going on around them. And maybe sometimes they can like be a little bit cynical when it comes to these things, or like a little bit like, you know, like bitter or a little bit smug, you know. But you know, obviously, like, this is like a general read, so this person could be very spiritual, they could be very emotional, but even then I feel like I'm using that word very liberally here because it definitely seems as if though, like, even if this person is into the occult or into things like that, they could have like a very like shy take on it, or they aren't as deep into it. I feel like they're the kind of person that's like very into astrology or very into, you know, divination, but they're just like that person that's like, wow, I really want to get into that stuff, but like I don't know how to, or like I'm not, like, they're the person that's like, I need to learn more about it, but they like never do, you know. I have some tea here, my throat's so dry. Oh, okay, that's better. But yeah, I definitely feel like this person is very just foolish, you know, but in a sweet way, you know. I feel like they're like, when you first see them, they could have like a very serious demeanor. So they could have like a very intimidating presence, or somebody who comes off as very stoic. But as you get to know them, they're like surprisingly, you know, like, you know, sweet, you know, curious, and very like, I'm not gonna lie, they could be a Gemini, because when I was first putting your deck down, because like this deck is very minimalistic, and I feel like minimalism is so Gemini's vibe, you know. Like when you go into Gemini's house, like they could be into the gray hardwood floors and like all whites and blacks and just like modern furniture. Like, this person is very sophisticated is what I'm trying to say here. There's somebody who could be very classy or put a lot of, you know, value in the material world, you know. Somebody who likes the finest things, somebody who puts a lot of value on getting things for the best deal, you know. They could also be very into gambling, with that being said, or they could be somebody who likes taking risks or being very reckless. But you know, I feel like that definitely translates differently depending on who's watching this pile. But I think it's safe to say that this person, in their own way, can be a little bit like snooty, or like, how do I say, like cocky, you know what I mean? Somebody who can be a little bit arrogant and a little bit like overly focused on themselves. You know, they try to come off as like all smart and stuff, but like, you know, at the base of it, they're just somebody who is very bubbly, very effervescent, and somebody who likes to kind of just take things as they go, but like they like come off as like a control freak, you know. But the truth is that they just like exploring, you know. They could have like a deep fascination with other cultures. I don't know, like my mind's just like wandering. I feel like this person, they may seem like they don't even think, like they just may be somebody who just be talking, you know. Like I feel like this person doesn't watch what they say some of the time, and maybe because of that, like I feel like maybe that's how you found out that this person may have wanted to shoot their shot with you, because they may have let something slip, or may they have said something. Because I do think that this person, simultaneously, despite the fact that they may be very verbally unfiltered, they also put a lot of value in their words. And there's a lot that is hidden in plain sight when it comes to their speech. But yeah, let's see. Let's just see what the tarot has to say first. Who wishes they could or could have shoot their shot or shot their shot with pile 2? Wishes they could have shoot or shot their shot with pile 2. Okay. With the bottom of the deck, we have the 5 of Wands. Also, sorry, I was just thinking because this deck's blue, and that makes me think of the throat chakra, and that makes me think of Taurus because Taurus rules over the throat. So even more Taurus energy here. Even though most of the decks stay were blue, but you know what I'm saying, pile 2. But with the 5 of Wands, I definitely do think that this person is very conflicted. I think that at the time of watching this pile 2, this person is definitely going through a lot of transformation in regards to their passion projects because the Wands does rules over passion. But I definitely feel like this person like, in terms of shooting their shot with you or reaching out to you or like, you know, making an offering, they're very conflicted. In the sense that, once again, it kind of simmers back down to the fact that they're probably very emotionally immature or very emotionally underdeveloped because they don't put too much emphasis on their feelings, you know? This is the kind of person that whenever they're feeling down, if you tell them, hey, it's okay, like, I appreciate you, like, that just fixes everything. Girl, for, like, an empathic or emotional person, like, you gotta give them, like, a 15-page essay about like why they're a good person alone, and then the next 15 pages is like why they shouldn't feel that way, and then like 5 therapy sessions, like I don't want like a shopping spree at the mall, a good dinner, and then maybe there's like a 25% chance that they'll feel better, you know? It's just like, obviously I'm being dramatic, but I feel as if though for more logical and like detached or emotionally underdeveloped people, it takes so little to like please them emotionally or make them feel better, you know? It's just like you give them a pat on the back and they're like, you know what, I feel better, let's get back to work, guys. But you know, with that being said, it's just like I feel like you make this person feel some type of way, or like you evoke a lot of, you know, hope in them, or they may daydream a lot about you. And I feel like with that being said, they may overthink about you at times, or they may like think about you quite compulsively, and because of that, it's caused a lot of inner conflict within them. They could also be somebody who kind of gives off a lot of mixed signals, or somebody who's very hard to read. Once again, at that Gemini energy. Whew, ciao. But this person is like very confusing. They're just very like hot and cold, and it's very hard to get a hold of them. They could also have a Gemini Lilith. That's for some of you, not all of you. But I definitely do feel as if though they have Gemini somewhere within their inner planets or big 3. But, or you could have those placements. So whatever the case may be, Gemini energy is important here, whether or not those placements are prominent, because it's just that vibe of being very hot and cold, very playful, very childish, and having a lot of emphasis on communication and speech. This person could literally be the perfect date. Somebody who is just really charming and very easy to get along with no matter who you are, you know? What else do we got here? We also have Temperance. They could be a Sagittarius. They could be a Gemini rising with that Sagittarius descending, but I also feel like they could be a Sagittarius sun. But, you know, regardless of the case here, pile 2, I feel like this person definitely speaks very grand, and somebody who puts a lot of emphasis on their communication or their way of talking. They could be somebody who has to do a lot of talking for their job, or has to do a lot of talking within their friend groups, or they're just somebody who is always talking. They could have a very alluring voice, or they could be somebody who has a very attractive voice. But, I feel like with the Temperance card too, there's somebody who puts a lot of emphasis on routine. Because it makes me think of like, sorry, I was thinking about how I said who. I said who, like girl. But I feel like this person just like is constantly balancing things, or they seem to always be working on something. I don't know how to explain it. It seems as if though this person is just always on to the next big thing. You know, they're somebody who's always aiming a little bit higher. You know, they could be pretty competitive, or they could be very jealous, or somebody who could be even a little bit possessive, you know. But I definitely do feel like they're a little bit jealous, and I feel like in like a very masculine way, you know. I feel like this person probably like has like a low-key fragile masculinity. This is for some of you, not all of you, but I do feel like this person could mansplain a lot, or they could like explain things all the time, or they could be like like overbearing. They could also be very like like bossy, or somebody who is very like controlling. And I feel like this translates kind of differently based on who's watching this, obviously. But I do think that it's safe to say that this person across the board is just very controlling, and somebody who very much likes to be in control, and somebody who likes for everything to go their way. I feel like there's somebody who is a little bit persuasive, or somebody who's constantly trying to persuade people to do things their way if they don't immediately agree. I feel like once again it kind of comes back down to the fact that this person can be very arrogant. But I feel like underneath this exterior is just this very like naive and curious person that like what I mean? It seems to consistently boil it back down to that. I feel like this is somebody that you really got to know at a more personal level, and I definitely feel it as if though that's why this person is just so like fascinated, or like entranced, or like enamored by you, because it's just like I feel like this person like maybe spilled their guts out to you, or like this person like you got to know them, and like you really listened to them at a more intimate and deeper level, and because of that this person like feels this sort of attachment, or like this sort of like curiosity with you, because they're like, wow, I've never opened up like that to anybody. Like Pile 2 just like existed, and I just like told them everything. And obviously take that how it resonates and apply it to your situation based on how you see fit. I'm pretty confident that if you've watched this far and it's resonating, I think it's pretty safe to say that this person does in fact like put a lot of value in the fact that they feel comfortable around you when it comes to communicating their feelings and being more transparent with you. And I definitely feel as if though that's where like a lot of this like internalized fear and indecision comes in with this Five of Wands here. And with this Temperance here, I definitely feel like they've been juggling these feelings for you a lot, or like when I say feelings, I don't mean like they've caught feelings for you. I feel like it really depends on the stages of how you know this person, or like how much you know this person. But it's safe to say that like across the board that this person does feel some sort of way about you, and because of that it's just they're trying very hard to cope with it or balance it out. Because I definitely do think that with this detached energy I'm picking up on here, they're not somebody who gets attached to people very quickly, or they're not somebody who like starts feeling some type of way for people quickly. And that's definitely why that's caused a lot of like holes in their logic and a lot of confusion, because they're like, oh my gosh, like this has never happened to me, what is going on? But let me pull another card. We also have Ace of Pentacles. I feel as if though this person feels like you are like a sign of status. What I mean by that is I feel like you are somebody who also mirrors this energy, especially like if this person does have like a Gemini or Sagittarius rising. Like I feel like you yourself could be very witty, or very goal oriented, or just thinking very large and having a lot of dreams. And I feel like this person's extremely attracted to that. This person is very attracted to the fact that you have desires, you have things that you want, and you have things that you are actively working towards. And that goal oriented energy, this person just like, they're like biting their lip at that. They're like, girl, you're like, girl. You know what I mean? Like this person sees you as like an investment. And I don't mean that in like an objectifying, or like, like they see you as like literal like object, or like money opportunity. And for some of you, if that resonates and that's why you aren't talking to this person, take it that way. But I feel like for others of you, it's just this sense of like this person sees a more stable future, with you, or like this person feels as if though like you guys are a very good match, or there is a beginning in the material world. So like moving in together, buying a house together, or like starting something together in terms of business, finances, community, or it could be like this person, like if you go to school with this person, they're like, oh, we could start a club together, or like, oh, like we could start this together, or we could like go to this together. This person just feels like in the 3D like they have a lot of potential of you, or they feel like you have a lot of potential to show them a lot, or vice versa. And because of that, they just like really like they love the idea of spending time with you and kind of like talking more like down to earth with you, because I do feel like there's this earthly energy about you, Pile 2, that really like entrances this person. Like this person's like goo goo gaga fucking like, oh, didn't mean to curse. But anyways, like heart eyes, like it makes me think of like Tom and Jerry, sticking their tongue out with like hearts all over it. But this person just feels some type of way towards you. And I hate constantly going back to the whole this person feels some sort of way about you, but like what I mean by that is like this person is just like it makes me think of like this stand-up comic. I forgot what her name is. Her name is like Taylor something. She's on Netflix, but she was like, I like how when girls fall in love, like they're just like, again, and then when she was like, but then when guys like someone, they're like, I don't know, I just freaking like her, dude, and it's just like, I feel like that's how this person feels about you, like they're just like, they just like you, like I feel like this reading won't even explain why or how they like you. They just feel some sort of way about you. And I feel like, I don't mean to frustrate you, Pile 2. I don't mean to make you like spill the tea, it's this kind of vibe. I don't want that to be the case here, but like what I'm trying to say is like this person sees a lot of like, they see a lot of realistic future of they feel as if though like there is something there, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like they feel as if though they aren't being far-fetched, they aren't being like overly daydreamy or like delusional. They genuinely feel as if though like if they like got together with you, or if y'all got together, like it's just a sense of like there is something there in the material world, and there could be stability found within that relationship. That took a lot of explaining. It literally took me even cursing. I might edit that out. Maybe not. I don't know. We also have Seven of Cups. Once again, with this whole like daydreaming energy and this whole energy of like, you know what I mean? Like Seven of Cups in this Hope card, it's just the same vibe of like daydreaming, thinking about you, obsessing over you. Maybe even sometimes like creating false scenarios in their head. I feel like this person literally daydreams about you to go to bed sometimes, not gonna lie. But Seven of Cups energy is very deceiving, so I feel like this person maybe deludes themselves from time to time. Like you could literally just like be not into this person. This person's like, oh my gosh, like this person like texted me first. Like they're literally in love with me. And I feel like, like once again, like take that how it resonates. But I also feel like with the Seven of Cups here, like this person is like, once again, they see a lot of opportunities with you. They see like the fact that like it can really go anywhere, but no matter where it seems to go, they just consistently across the board, they see like, oh wow, like this person and I have like a future together, or like we could have a future together, like this person just like, I don't know, like I'm just gonna pull one more card before I just like go crazy. We just have Four of Wands. Oh my gosh. Daydreaming about literal happiness. This person, I'm not gonna lie, this person could be kind of naive when it comes to those things. Once again, this person could literally be the person that like L bombs, or like, is just immediately, once again, like married within like 15 minutes of like talking, This person could like, in that sense, once again, with this emotional underdevelopment, they could be very quick to latch on, or somebody who could be very clingy, or somebody who just like, I feel like they could have a Libra moon, or like Cancer in their chart. Maybe not Cancer. I'm sensing just like a lot of like Libra, a lot of like Sagittarius, and also Gemini once again. But across the board, I think I'm gonna wrap up this reading, Pile 2, by saying that this is somebody who is very grounded, and somebody who is very emotionally and like mentally reserved in the way they come off, and they may come off as like very wise and stuff like that. But like when you get to know them, you find out that they are actually very naive, and somebody who is a lot more jolly-hearted than you thought they were, and somebody who can be a little bit reckless too. And in that sense, like they are very like childish and very, like immature, and that definitely translates to the fact that the way they feel about you is like, because they're so emotionally underdeveloped, it's very hard for them to decipher these feelings, and like break them down and see how they feel about you, and then like, suddenly they just like, it's just like, what are these feelings, like maybe sometimes it even scares them, but they oh my gosh, I keep stumbling over my words, but they definitely daydream about you like a lot with this Four of Wands. Like it could literally be like a happy reunion, or daydreaming about getting married to you. And not to scare you all, like not to say like this person like wants to marry you, but like that's the kind of person we're dealing with here. Somebody who is just so far-sighted for their own good, somebody who's just like, they plant a seed and they're already thinking about how the plant or tree is going to look when it's fully grown, it's just like they're so optimistic and so like ready for the next best thing. But they definitely see a more realistic future of you with this Ace of Pentacles and Seven of Cups. They just feel like it's strange because like with these emotions that they are having trouble processing, they genuinely do see like stability and like a happy reunion with you. It's like they can imagine themselves with you, is what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, that's all I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for listening. If the reading resonated, do like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry for cussing. Oh my gosh. I hope y'all don't think that I'm like not like I hope y'all don't think I'm like innocent like that. Like when I'm like not recording, I cuss like a sailor. But yeah, other than that, thank you so much for watching again. I love you. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the Prism Tarot, this is going to be your reading for who wishes they could have shoot or shot their shot with you. That's what I've been calling it, so just bear with me. So, right off the bat, pile 2, there is something that kind of stuck out to me. So, before I started doing your pile, I finally got my new shirt out of the dryer. It was like this cute little striped shirt that I got from H&M. And like, I was trying to pair it with the chain I showed in the beginning. And like, I don't know, like, it looked fine. And I'm like, it's not that serious. But what I'm trying to say is like, I feel like maybe this person is probably very vanity obsessed. I don't know, like whatever I do before each pile, like really dictates kind of the energy of that pile, or like it kind of helps predict. I don't know. Maybe I sound crazy, but Anyways, so we have some oracle cards here, so let's get right into it. For your oracle cards, we have soil, the soil, excuse me, the bear, and also spy. So once again, with that vanity obsession, this person could be very invested in social media. I wouldn't be surprised if this person just like randomly followed you. I feel like a lot of this will be like online, so this person could have mercurial placements or like a very like impulsive Mercury placement. So they could be a Gemini or Virgo, or have like weird like a fire Mercury, so like Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. But regardless of the case here, I feel as if though this definitely takes place online, and this is somebody who either A, online, or B, somebody who has stayed connected with you through the internet. And I definitely feel as if though whoever this is somebody that keeps an eye on you very closely, especially the spy card. Like that is like heavy stalker energy. Like not saying that you're being stalked or something, pile 3, excuse me. I feel like that's more of the sense of like this person is definitely like they have visited your social media profiles a few times, and maybe it feels a little bit over obsessive for some of you. They could have went to the Facebook. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But with the soil card, I definitely do feel as if though this is the kind of person that could be a little bit pessimistic or nihilistic. And what I mean by that is that they could be somebody who like strongly believes that despite what happens, it doesn't matter how they feel, they have to keep growing, they have to keep moving on. And I feel like with the bear card, this person may struggle with slowing down, and this person may be very obsessed with working, very obsessed with their like vanity, and very obsessed with how they portray themselves and how they project themselves, either through social media, through real life, through meeting people, and to even their family and friends, or close loved ones. This person is just like not insecure, they could be, but somebody who is just very like rooted in their appearance and their reputation and how they come off to people. They are heavily invested in their reputation, and they're heavily invested in their vanity, and that might be a reason why they are so like they didn't like reach out to you. I definitely feel as if though this one seems the most timeless out of the bunch here. Pile 1's more the past, pile 2 is more the present. This one is more of like both. It could be whatever the case. Like it could be like this could have been a really long time ago. This could have been quite recent. But I'm sensing that this person definitely fixated on you a little bit, or somebody like that didn't forget you. Like, I feel as though even if the feelings did wear off, they didn't forget you, and they definitely do wish that they would have said something to you, or like shot their shot of theirs. But with the earth signs, like we do have Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Heavy emphasis on the Virgo here. And I'm saying, y'all, if y'all ever done Virgo men, like please just like comment your experiences down below, because I don't think I've ever heard any good experiences with Virgo men. And yeah, just no comment. But I definitely feel like this person is very rooted. You know, I definitely do think that they are a very practical person, somebody who is very neat and organized, somebody who's very clean, and somebody who is very focused on routine. They may be someone who is a little bit overly critical of both themselves and other people, you know. It makes me think of somebody who, you know, stares in the mirror for a really long time, checking themselves out, you know, seeing what's going on, checking their blemishes out or something like that. And maybe because of that, they could also be somebody who projects a lot, you know, whether that be bad or good. I feel like this person is just like very nitpicky of both themselves and other people. Somebody who's just very stern, maybe sometimes a little bit scornful. I don't know, like I'm just picking up on somebody who is very like abrasive, and that's definitely probably why like you kept your distance from this person, pile 3. I definitely do think that this is somebody that like you didn't get close enough to, or somebody you didn't invest into too much here, because I definitely do feel as if though you picked up on this energy long before they realized how they were treating you. And I definitely feel as if though with the soil card here, this person strives for progress. This person, they're like sometimes quantity over quality kind of vibes. You know, they are somebody who sometimes just likes movement and growth just for the sake of movement and growth. You know, they just love seeing progress. You know, they are the kind of person that like they are constantly checking something to see if it's changed. You know, they like pick up their puppy every 5 seconds, be like, have you gotten heavier? They check out their plants every 5 seconds, be like, have you grown a new leaf? You know, and they're just like they're always obsessed with change. They're always obsessed with what's going on around them and seeing if anything has rattled them up. I feel like in that sense, this person could be very like they could be like a change junkie, or like kind of like an adrenaline junkie. So they could like roller coasters, they could like variety, they could like change. They just like exciting things, you know. I feel like this person needs to constantly be emotionally, like not even emotionally, like they just need to be stimulated some way, somehow, constantly. And in that sense, they are probably somebody who's very exhausting to keep up with. And I feel like with the bear card, a lot of their responsibility lies in the fact that they probably should slow down from time to time. But I feel as if though it's more of a mental thing. I feel like this person gets stuck in their head a lot when the circumstances don't match up with what they're thinking. And what I mean by that is I feel like, you know, like this person has all these visions for a project or something, and once that project that they're actually working on doesn't match up to their visions, like it causes a lot of distress in them, you know. It causes a lot of like, you know, freak outs in them. And I feel like this person definitely just like overthinks a lot in that sense, and they may not show it. They may hide it behind like a mask of pride or like ego, but it really depends. And they just like also feel like a sense of like duty. This person could like be a huge provider, or somebody who like provides to a fault, or somebody who like constantly takes burdens upon themselves, you know. They constantly feel as if though they have to step up to the occasion, or that everything constantly falls back on their shoulders, or maybe they just take too many responsibilities, or they just take too much on at once. And I feel like this person just like they radiate a lot of like older sibling vibes, you know. Like they just feel like everything's on them, you know. They could have like a Capricorn moon, but just somebody who constantly feels like everything's on them, you know. And maybe that gets annoying. I mean, who wouldn't think that's kind of annoying? But I definitely do feel as if though this person like I feel like this person got distracted by their goals and their ambitions for a while, and because of this person kind of low-key feels like ashamed of the fact that like they didn't really get that opportunity with you. I'm sensing that for some of you, you reached out first. This person really didn't capitalize on that opportunity, and now they're looking back and regretting it. And now because of that, they're really wanting to reach out to you again, you know. They're just like kind of embarrassed, you know. They're kind of like, wow, like they were literally being handed, pile 3 was being handed to me on a silver platter, and I just like didn't take it, you know. And it was probably because they were so focused on work. They were probably so focused on other things, and you know, it's just like because of that, like they kind of got blindsided, and now they're looking back and they realize that there was a huge opportunity right in front of them. So who wishes they could have shot their shot with pile 3? Who wishes they could have shoot or shot their shot with pile 3? Alright, what is the bottom of the deck? Bottom of the deck, we have 2 of lightning. I'm not gonna lie, pile 3, this person could be planning to reach out to you pretty soon. This is for some of you, not all of you. Take it how it resonates, and I don't want to like sit here and be like, oh my god, they're gonna like reach out to you, and you know, they're like, here, like blah 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 blah, like whatever. But what I'm trying to say is like for a good portion of you, this person could be formulating a plan to reach out to you. And I'm not saying that they're gonna follow through on it, let's be real, huh? But for some of you that may happen. For the lots of you, it's pretty safe to say that this person is planning on talking to you or planning on getting back to you in some way, shape, or form. And this person definitely, like, I don't know, like, how to explain it. Like, they just see you on social media, they like what they see, and they definitely feel some sort of way about you. Like, I've been saying feel some sort of way about you, like, literally in every single pile, and it's, like, low-key embarrassing. But, like, I've been trying to explain to, especially pile 2, I was, like, freaking out on them. I was like, pile 2, please don't make fun of me. It's not like that. But, what I'm trying to say here is, like, this person just, like, I definitely do think that the feelings that they feel for you are very underdeveloped, and compared to the other piles especially, like, it's very young, and it's, like, seedling vibes, It's, like, this person definitely realized that they want to get to know you more quite recently. And, like, I want to say, like, that timeline is a little bit less, like, open, or, like, less, like, it's not as flexible as the timeline I laid out initially in the beginning. But I do want to say, like, for the record, if this situation has passed, I want to say that this person, what I'm trying to say is this person quickly realized the value in it. They quickly realized, who you are, and they quickly realized that they have an attraction or this fancy for you. It's just like regardless of the timeline here, this person, like, the point is, doesn't matter where in the timeline, it matters that in the timeline it's very short, and I hate for it to come off like, oh, this person, like, realized what your worth is in a matter of seconds, I don't want it to sound like, oh, it took them that long to realize your worth, but rather, like, this person saw you and they didn't think too much of it in the beginning because they weren't overly focused on relationships, or they weren't overly focused on, situations like that. But, after meeting you, or, like, after seeing you on social media, or after observing you, or, like, ruminating and letting the dust settle, they realized, like, oh, snap, this person was into me. Oh, snap, this person is fine AF, It's that kind of vibe, It's, like, it makes me think of those memes where, like, it shows, like, two people digging, and the person that quit was about to hit, like, a diamond deposit, but then the other person is just, like, still going, It's like they're the person that quit beforehand. They're just like, wow, if I had mine 3 more seconds, I would have hit the jackpot. What else do we got here? We also have the Hierophant. This person could be a Taurus. I've been getting a lot of Taurus energy in the reading today. They could have, like, a Taurus sun, Capricorn moon, or, like, vice versa. So, like, a Capricorn sun, Taurus moon. They could be somebody who just, like, has a lot of earth in their chart. A lot of earth has been coming through in today's readings, but this one's, like, the biggest, especially with the soil card here. Like, I feel like this person, like, is very, like, work obsessed. Or when I say work obsessed, what I mean is, like, I'm also picking up on Leo placements, by the way, but, that's for some of you, not all of you. But I feel like this person just, like, puts a lot of, like, they have a lot of 10th house energy, like, they are very into their reputation, and they very much do not like embarrassing themselves, and they very much are also a jealous person. I feel like this person feels some sort of way when other people seem to be getting their way and they're, like, not, and I feel like this is where social media comes into, where social media probably has, like, a really negative influence on them, because maybe they see other people getting what they want, whether or not it's actually the case. Like, they could see somebody with, like, a BMW, even though they rented the car, it seems like they bought it, and because of that, they're like, oh my god, this person has a BMW, but I'm still, like, driving a Camry, and it's just, like, this vibe of, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing, and I feel like, whether or not that resonates, what I'm trying to say is this person plays the comparison game to no end, and they are pretty reckless about it too, and once again, it comes to the fact that they are very big on standards, and they probably project those standards onto themselves a lot, and they're probably their own worst critic, they're probably very hard on themselves, and somebody who is very, like, just very earthy, like, they probably have, like, a very emotional reaction to materials, or, like, they are very big on, like, a scarcity mindset, or they're just, like, very big on those things, like, this person is just, like, very work oriented, and somebody who is very busy. They could have, like, a very hectic schedule, or somebody who seemingly doesn't have enough time to do the things that they want to do because they are so burdened by their own schedule. And you may notice this pile through. I think you know what I'm talking about when this, like, when I say this person is busy, you know what I mean. You're like, yeah, he be clocking in just to like, like he clocks out just to clock back in, and he or she or they, it doesn't matter, but I'm picking up a lot of masculine energy, so that leads me to believe that this probably is a man that we're dealing with here, or like somebody that identifies as a man. But regardless of the case, it can be anybody, it can be of anyone of any identity, but it's pretty safe to say that regardless of their identity, they are somebody who puts a lot of value in planning, routine, work, materialism, and status, especially status. Oh my gosh, this person is like, they hate to be seen failing, or they hate to be seen not getting what they want. They hate when things do not go their way. And that is probably very unattractive to some of you. They are just somebody who's very stubborn. What else do we got brewing here? Five of Lightning, competition. Yes, this person is probably very competitive, like I've been saying here. It makes me think of like Jealousy by Olivia Rodrigo. That song keeps playing in my head, like I'm seeing like some of the lyrics are like, I'm saying these people getting what they want, and I'm like not, and it's like their victory is not my defeat, but like, and I'm sensing that for some of you, this person could also feel like you got people in your phone, or like you got options. And whether or not you actually do got options, like first of all, we all have options, we just don't realize it. But what I'm trying to say is like this person, whether or not you feel like it, this person feels like you got options. They definitely feel as if though if they were to reach out to you, or if they are shooting their shot with you, they are to be competing. And maybe that's why there's a lot of premeditation going to the fact that they may be trying to reach out to you, or trying to get to know you, or like get a better like grip, or like a better like read on you. This person could also have an Aries Mars. I don't know, like I just feel like this person's very very hard-headed, and somebody who is just like, they don't like to listen to people, and a lot of the lessons and experiences and like a lot of their wisdom definitely comes from their own mistakes and their own mishaps that they caused. But I definitely do feel as if though this person is just like very like stubborn and very competitive. They are somebody who like, you're literally playing beanbag toss with them, and suddenly they just like turn it into like this intense like Super Smash Bros like competitive like freaking league type swimming Olympics match, and they're just like, I have to win. Like they're just somebody who can't do, like they cannot do friendly competition. They are just that competitive. They are just that obsessed with beating and dominating people. But whether or not like how that appeals to you, pile 3, what I'm trying to say here is like this person is just very competitive. Like I feel like that's the best way I can say. I also feel like with the 5 of Lightning, that's the lightning is the wands. So I also feel like once again this person could be like a fighter. Maybe this person likes fighting, or maybe they like are into boxing, or they're very much into sports. They probably are invested in their body in some way, shape, or form. Or maybe for some of you, some of them, they don't really pay attention to their body that much. It's either A, they like work out, or B, like they just work so much that they are naturally like toned, or they are naturally like like strong. But they could also be a bear, lol. But I also feel like with the 5 of Wands, what I was originally going to say is like this person could also be like an overthinker, or somebody who gets in their head a lot, especially with this whole like competitive and like like stubborn energy that I've been talking about this whole time here. They could be somebody who gets in their head a lot, and maybe somebody who doesn't react that well to change. If we do have Taurus here, or if we do have like any Earth here, which I'm strongly sensing we have Earth here, we have like 3 cards, 2 of them being the Oracle cards that suggest earthiness. So I feel like as a result, this person probably has like a very like visceral reaction to change, or they may be somebody who doesn't like change that much, or likes things to kind of come to them at a steady pace. I feel like they may not like surprises as a result, or they may be somebody who doesn't like being surprised. They don't like shockers, or they don't like, like jump scares and things like that. And I also feel like we also have 2 5s here because of the Hierophant. So I feel like this person could like be somebody who is very at a crossroads. I feel like they're constantly at a crossroads. And maybe that's why they cope so much through their work, or maybe that's why they dump so much work, like effort into work, because maybe I feel like this person's very confused on their career, or they're very confused on their goals and ambitions, especially with this unlearn here on the Hierophant card. I feel like this is somebody who could have been very cynical a while ago, or they could still be very cynical, or they could be somebody who is very like self-destructive, or somebody who is just like they don't put enough value in themselves, or they don't put enough value into their own health, or there's just somewhere in their personal circle, or like they're somewhere in their health they're just not putting enough attention on it, whether that be physical, whether that be mental. And maybe for some of you this person could have huge vices, but especially with Capricorn, I feel like Capricorns tend to have a lot of vices, especially Capricorn moons. But that's for some of you, not all of you. And I feel like this person just like they're very at odds right now in terms of their career. And I feel like that's once again plays into the fact that they could have been very blindsided by this confusion, and it translated to so many other aspects of their lives, because once again they probably have like a very emotionally or like very visceral reaction to things like career and finances and 3D things. And I feel as if though like this person maybe for a while has felt very confused on how they're going to go about their career, or what they want to do next. Maybe they want to go to school, or maybe they want to start a new job, something of the sorts. There's something in their lives that feels like it's very unfulfilling for them, and because of that, like right now at the time of watching this pile 3, it's pretty safe to say that this person, like either at the time of when you guys were like talking, or when you guys did meet each other, or when you guys did have that opportunity to come into union, whether or not you did, this person was very blindsided by other things. But now that they're looking back, like they are just now realizing like, wow, pile 3 was the tea, and I literally missed out on like such a big opportunity. And maybe for some of you, that's why this person is waiting for like that Goldilocks opportunity to kind of reach out to you, or to kind of like make a move. 5 of raindrops, another 5. And once again, with the loss here, it's just like this person, like they really feel like they missed out on you, and period, they did miss out with you, pile 3. Like they need to get to the back of the line, because the truth is I'm also waiting in line. Just kidding. But what I'm trying to say here is, with the 5 of raindrops, that's the 5 of cups, I'm sure you can tell. But I feel like this person, I don't think for some of you they could have cried over you, because I see this eye with the tears. But that's very specific message. Take that if it resonates or not. Like if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I feel like this person really, they feel like they missed out on you big time. And obviously, like I said, they did. And I know I keep saying that. But when I say that, it's just like, when I repeat it, it makes me think of like, when something happens, you're just like, dang, that really just happened. And like 15 minutes later, you're like, wow, that seriously happened. It's just like this person's so surprised and so shocked with themselves at the fact that they really just like didn't, like what did they didn't? They just didn't, and they're just very surprised and a little bit angry at themselves, and they're probably being a little bit overly critical of themselves about it. For some of you, especially, like this person could literally be beating themselves up about it. Like, it makes me think of like whenever like you buy something right before it goes on sale, or like when you like refuse to buy something and then like you buy something else, or like I don't know, it just makes me think of like missing out on something. It makes me think of like an opportunity that was really missed out on. Like for example, like I remember I bought this Oracle deck, and literally like right after I bought it, it went on sale, and I was like, really, girl? And I was trying to play it off, but like I was damaged about it. Okay, I could have saved money. But let's pull one more card before we kind of wrap things up here. 6 of lightning. This person definitely feels as if though like you've been making achievements yourself. I feel like this person sees that you've been doing good things for yourself. And the reason I say that is because like I feel like for the cards that we've pulled so far, the 6 of lightning is just so vastly different from the 5 of cups and 5 of lightning, Like the 2 5s are about change, loss, confusion, and like self-conflict and internalized like being at odds with yourself. But then 6 of lightning is about victory. So I definitely feel like this person seeing you win, or seeing that like you're moving along with your life, is just like really making them realize that like, wow, like I could have had that. I could have had them, Or if that's not the case, this person is just like, maybe just see you as like a victory. I don't know, like it's very hard for me to feel or believe that like this person has made a victory recently, because I do feel as if though this person's undergoing like a huge metamorphosis, or they're going through a lot of changes in their life, and they're just like, oh, and it's just like, it gives me this vibe that like this person just really sees that they missed out on the Six of Lightning. They missed out on like a really big opportunity. I think I'm going to sum up this reading by saying pile 3, we're dealing with somebody who is very earthy, somebody who is very reserved, and somebody who is probably very masculine, and somebody who's very rooted and obsessed with their vanity, accomplishments, and really puts a lot of value and pours a lot of energy into their ego and their social media perception. They're either very private or very open. I don't feel like they're the casual social media user. They could either be literally their social media could be so oversaturated, or B, they could be somebody who literally doesn't even have a profile picture. It's like one or the other in terms of extremes. And this is somebody who, like, the reason they didn't shoot their shot with you is because they are blindsided by other things, especially in regards to their career and the 3D world in general. But now looking back, this person is just like, wow, like I could have had it all with pile 3. And for some of you, they could even be planning to reach out again. So yeah, that's all I have for you, pile 3. I resonated with this pile the most personally, and I'm thinking of somebody as I was reading about this. But thank you so much for watching. If the reading did resonate, like, comment, and subscribe. But other than that, I love you so much. Bye. Hello, pile 4. If you chose the Mermaid Tarot, this is going to be your reading for who wishes they could have shoot or shot their shot with you. That's what we've called it today, so bear with me. So before we get into it, we have some oracle cards here. You know the vibe. So for your oracle cards, we have the Star. I didn't say let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. And we have Friendship and the Horse. So I feel like, okay, first of all, pile 4, I'm not gonna lie, for some of you, this could be somebody you are very fond of, or somebody that you really know. This could be like, I'm not gonna lie, this could be like a best friend. Like, I'm not even gonna lie with you. I feel like this could be like a best friend for some of you. But when I say that, obviously some of you know who I'm talking about. But for others of you, I also feel like this could be somebody that, like, you talk very casually with. This is somebody that you definitely talk with on a day-to-day basis, or somebody that, like, like, you just speak to frequently, and they aren't a stranger to you. And I feel like for a good majority of you, this isn't like they feel some sort of way towards you, or they have strong feelings for you. I just feel like this person feels very confused, and maybe even a little bit like curious as to how things would go if they were to initiate with you romantically. I feel like it's one of those situations where, like, they're friends with you, and they know you, and like you very much are this person's type, and this person, because of that, is just like, And I feel like with the Star card, they could also be somebody who, first of all, we have Aquarius and Earth here. Especially, like, it could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Lots of Earth has been coming in today. But I feel like with the Star card, we also have Aquarius here. This could be somebody with, like, an Aquarius rising, I'm sensing. Or, like, Aquarius rising, Aquarius sun, moon, or rising. Anyways, whether or not that's the case, what I'm trying to say here is that this person, like, has, like, Aquarian themes about them. This person could, first of all, have nice legs. I don't know. Or they think your legs are nice. I don't know. Pile 4. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm, like, all over the place right now. But this person definitely seems the type of person that is just they're very inspired, and they have a deep love for humanity. They could be a very humanitarian kind of person. They could also be pretty detached, I'm sensing. This person is not as in tune with their emotions as you probably are, pile 4, and that's probably why, like, they're kind of on the fence about their emotions for you, and, like, how they feel about you, because it definitely seems as if though they're having a lot of trouble, like, deciphering them. And this has probably been an on and off thing, because the Star card burns out very quickly. It's like, when they're into it, they're capable of great power and great movement, but when they're burnt out, they literally, like, can't do anything. Like, they literally can't even, like, get out of bed. They just can't even make a cup of coffee with themselves to get said energy. But aside from that, I just feel like this is somebody who just is, like, a very inspired and a very friendly person. This is, like, a very this is a really nice person that we're dealing with here. And with that being said, I don't think that for some of you this could even be like a friend. This could just be somebody who is very friendly. This could be a mutual for some of you. This could be some, you know what I mean? They are just like, they aren't too far from you. They aren't a stranger. If you went out with this person, it wouldn't be inherently weird. It wouldn't feel uncomfortable. It would just be like, this is somebody who knows you and you know them, and it's just like, it's nothing too weird. It's nothing like, oh, like if I went to Walmart with this person, I wouldn't even know how to talk to them. It's just like, you have plenty in common with this person, and you have plenty to know about this person, and this person is the same way about you. And with the horse card, I wouldn't be surprised if this is somebody who is also very reliable, and somebody who is very, grounded and very sweet. This person, like, when you think of a horse, you think of like horseback riding and, like horse girls, just somebody who is very quaint, and somebody who is very, respectful, very considerate, and someone who is also very reliable. Somebody who's just like always there for you when you really need them. And it just gives me this vibe of like somebody who's just like very friendly. Somebody that's like, you ask a favor of them and they just do it for you. Somebody who's just like, even if you don't know them, if you like, pull up to them, call them at like 2 a.m. crying, they'll like, oh, like they'll help you. It's just somebody who's very considerate, and somebody who is very down to earth and very realistic. And this is because they have such a deep love for humanity. They have such a deep love for them, for other people, and maybe they're a little bit hard on themselves, or they're a little bit like, they push themselves a little bit too hard at times. But I feel like it's pretty safe to say that across the board, this person is just they very much care. They maybe sometimes care so much to a fault, or they can be giving to a fault. Maybe they have like Cancer in their chart, or even Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. They could have those placements too. I'm also sensing some Libra and also some Aries. I don't know. I don't know. I said Aries. Like, that's just like the first thing that came to mind. And they, because like Aries, I feel like they're just like very nice, and they're very considerate, and like, when people ask them things, they're gonna do it. Like, they're not rude, but that's why I mentioned it. But I don't know why I just explained that. But I feel like this person also banters a lot. This person could be somebody who rambles a lot, or somebody who may at times be a little bit aimless. I feel like with the Star card, maybe sometimes they get a little bit confused at times with both their feelings and both their career. It makes me think of somebody who is very clumsy, or somebody who's very ditzy. And they could act a little bit naive, or a little bit, like class clown vibes, And it isn't that they're stupid, or like that they're inherent, like they're blatantly dumb or something like that. But rather just somebody who is just like, they like joking around, they like playing around, they like, messing around. They just love joking around, They love a good laugh. This person definitely they love pleasures, They love going out with friends. They probably are the kind of person that has trouble going out by themselves. Or they are somebody who like can't stand being by themselves. I feel like they always have to be around people. I feel like when they aren't around people, you literally don't hear like anything about this person, because like they just so heavily identify with their friend group. They heavily identify with their causes, what they invest into, and what they stand for, especially in terms of like beliefs and like politics. I feel like this person's they could be very invested in politics, or they could be somebody who's very political, and, somebody who could also be a little bit argumentative in like a friendly way, somebody who just like politely disagrees, or somebody who really likes discussing things. They could be somebody who, like, once again, just like is very much into discussions. I feel like every time there's a discussion at hand, like in school or something, or whatever the case may be, they always are the person to get their 2 cents in, and they always have to get their opinion in, because they put so much value in it. So as a result, this person's just like, if I don't express my opinion, or if people don't know what I'm all about, then I'm like nobody. And it's just like, maybe that's a little bit extreme, but I think it's pretty safe to say that this person definitely feels that way, And I also keep stuttering over my words in this reading more than any other pile, honestly. So I definitely feel like this person has a lot on their mind to say, especially to you. I feel like this person is just like, I don't think that this person like wants to like get with you, or they want to like, like be in a relationship with you. Maybe for some of you they do, but I feel like for a vast majority of you, like this person just really wants to explore these feelings that they have for you, because I feel like the feelings they feel for you are very shallow, or very like not thin, but kind of like underdeveloped, and they want to see where they would go, or how they would be. But yeah, let's get into the tarot here. I'm like zoning out right now. Sorry. I feel like this person also has like a very short attention span. I don't know what it is about this pile 4. Like, I just feel like this person is like very detached and very emotionally distant, and they just put so much value in like their values and their morals and their ethics and how they perceive the world and their beliefs and opinions. And it's just like, because of that, like, they are a very objective person and somebody who is kind of like a mediator in different situations. They're very charming, they're very likable, but like, I feel like at an emotional level they get burnt out very easily, or they may have intimacy issues, or they could be somebody who is very reluctant to get into situations like that. And that definitely plays into the fact that they could be very reluctant to reach out to you, and I feel like this person, like, they're very nervous to reach their shot, like, shoot their shot with you, not because, like, they fear rejection or anything like that, but because they simply don't know if they're ready for that, or they simply don't know if they're ready to do such a thing. And I feel like this person could low-key fear hurting you, or, like, like, investing in you and then, like, not being invested anymore, I feel like this person's very scared of hurting people. I feel like they very much do not want to do that. They don't want to be the reason someone's crying, And I feel like maybe for quite some time they've kept their peace as like a friend, but like deep down they want to like see what this is all about. So who is wanting to shoot their shot with pile 4? Who wishes they could shoot their shot with pile 4? Who wishes they could or could have shoot or shot their shot with pile 4? Alright, let's see the bottom of the deck first. We have the Hanged Man. Yeah. This person is just like, they're very confused. And I definitely feel like the feelings are there. Let's be real here. Like, they definitely do. When I say they have feelings for you, I don't mean like they're like trying to kiss you on the mouth or something like that. But rather, this person understands, they know themselves enough, and they know themselves enough to know that they have feelings, and they very much are aware of the fact that they could be attracted to you, or that they really like the way, like, their chemistry with you, or they really like the way, like, you carry yourself. They like your values. Something about you at a, like, a political, opinionated, or like a belief level. They just really like you. They like what you stand for. They like your identity. They like what you're all about, and they like your transparency. And they really appreciate the fact that, like, you also are probably a very reliable person and somebody who's very no BS and cut to the chase. I definitely do feel like pile 4, like, you are somebody who doesn't like to, you don't like flakiness, or you don't like not keeping your word. I feel like you're the kind of person, if you make a promise, you have made a promise, and promise will be kept. So yeah, let me see. Sorry, I had to drink some tea. Oh my gosh. But with the Hanged Man, I also feel like this person is just like, I don't know what it is about them, but like, they could also have like a very interesting style, because like with these, like, let me just show you. With these pants, like, they're like almost like bell bottoms, and like their shoes, like, obviously it's a sailor, but that's like a pretty interesting fashion choice, if you know what I mean. So I feel like this person could also have like a very eclectic way of dressing, or like a very interesting way of dressing. I feel like this is the kind of person who is definitely a walking statement when it comes to their accessorization and the way they, like, their fashion sense. This person is definitely very, like, eccentric. You know what I mean? This person is very communicative, if that's the word. They're somebody who is very, like, just like, they are very humanitarian oriented. Like, it makes me think of somebody, like, it makes me think of like guys with like long hair that's perm. It makes me think of guys that wear a lot of jewelry. It makes me think of girls that like dress more masculine, just like very androgynous and very much fluid with their identity and the way they dress and the way they project themselves. And I feel like because of that, maybe they've undergone a lot of changes in terms of those things, like in terms of their identity, their identification, their fashion, their emotions, and their relationships. Because I feel like this person craves change, and I feel like this person needs a lot of variety and a lot of novelty. And because of that, this person's probably always changing things. And I feel as if though, like, maybe for some of you, this person especially changed things up when they met you, because like, to cope with this emotional insecurity that like is rooted in like y'all's relationships and their like shallow feelings for you, this person definitely wanted a lot of variety and movement in other aspects of their life to cope with it. And I feel like you can probably notice that, perhaps when you met them, they like changed up their Instagram feed, or like they changed the way they started dressing, you know. And I feel like it's very subtle changes, and I don't even think that you realize it, pile 4, but I definitely do think that this person like made those changes because of the way they felt about you, whether it be conscious or unconscious. And I definitely do think that you felt some sort of way about it, but you didn't think it was that important, and I'm here to tell you it is like of significance, you know, and there is a reason that it happened. But what else do we got here? We also have lovers. Oh my gosh. They could be a Gemini. Especially Gemini moon. I'm picking up on like a Gemini moon, then like an earthy sun, or like a earthy moon and like a Gemini sun. Whatever the case may be, they could also be an Aquarius. I feel like this person is just like, they're very friend oriented, and they're somebody who is definitely a slow burn kind of person, because I do think that they have like an irrational fear of commitment, or they have like a very avoidant attachment style. And so as a result, I feel like as like getting to know you as a friend has definitely like, you know, like concentrated their feelings for you, or like concentrated like their intrigue in you. You know, it's like I said, I don't want to say like this person's like drop dead like marry me vibes for you. Like I don't think that this person's like trying to get hitched or something like that. But I do feel as if though this person's very intrigued by the concept of getting with you, or like getting to know you at a more intimate level, or getting busy with you, if you know what I mean. And I feel like this person, just like with the Lovers card, I feel like this person's like in love with love. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this person is just like a hopeless romantic, or somebody who, you know, is very fascinated by love, or very fascinated by relationships, you know? And I definitely do think that this person is just like, they drop a lot of blinks, you know? I feel like this person, like, they're very non-committal. Like, even in this reading, when I say things, I feel like I don't have the capacity to like, I have a strong start to my sentences, but I have like a very weak ending to them, you know? And I feel like some sentences, I don't even know where they're going. And it's just like, this person like starting projects for the sake of starting projects, you know? And this person's very much like into that stuff, you know? They're very much into the excitement and the variety of new things, you know? And because of that, maybe they can be kind of a shopaholic, or somebody who very impulsively spends, or they're very much into like, you know, collecting. And they could have like a Gemini Saturn. I don't know, something about Saturn and like Gemini is just like very prominent in this person's like chart. I feel like this person has like either a like heavy Saturnian energy like in their big 3, or they are just like an air Saturn. But, you know, regardless of the case here, we are dealing with somebody who is very spontaneous, and somebody who cannot sit still. We also have 2 of Pentacles. This person is definitely balancing a lot of things in their life in terms of like career. I feel like this person is very, once again, like, you know how I was saying, like, this person's probably involved in their beliefs, or they heavily identify with their beliefs. With the 2 of Pentacles, they could be juggling a lot of things because like they are so socially involved, or so socially invested. So this person could be in a lot of groups, or a lot of clubs, or like they could go to clubs a lot, or they could go out a lot. They could be very social. They could have a lot of followers on social media. They could be on dating apps, you know. This person is just very, like, they're very into getting to know society, and they're very into reforming society and getting involved in society and different social causes, you know. And I feel like as a result, that probably translates to the way that they do things. And I feel like they very much identify with their causes, you know. It's like, if this person's in a club, they are the ones that are invested in a club. You know, they give it their all in these clubs. They give it their all in school. They give it their all at their job. And whether or not they want to admit it, you know, they could say they hate their job, but they put a lot of importance in the status of having a job. They put a lot of importance in working that job, you know, and making the shmoneys. And it's just like, this person could also see the value of money, or they could also have like a very like, how do I say, like hot and cold relationship with money. I feel like this person could like, they could love spending, but they also seemingly don't put enough value into money, you know. This person is just like, oh, like I just spent like $700 at this store, and it's just like, now I'm happy, you know. This person could be like, you cannot take money. Like, I remember I saw this TikTok, and like this person's like, stop, just spend the money. You cannot take the money to your casket. Just spend it. It's fine. And I obviously, like, the person was like, oh, like, you know, be responsible, but like don't hold back on like tiny little purchases, you know. And like obviously, like, I'm no financial expert, so don't take my advice either. I'm literally Taurus moon. I literally splurged on like a chain and a candle, even though I literally shouldn't have. But I'm happy now, so it's like, who you gonna tell? Like, Who's gonna say it to my face? No one. But anyways, I'm gonna pull another card here actually. We also have Hermit. This person could be a Virgo. I'm sensing that for some of you, this person could have ghosted you because like the Hermit is like about being by themselves. This person could have like left you, or they could have just like mysteriously disappeared. I don't know. That's like a very particular message, very specific message. But I do know, like, for the fact is, like, this person could be very, like, they could be, like, I'm not gonna lie, they could be somebody that gets bullied a lot. Not like in, like, a they're getting bullied kind of way, but, like, somebody who's very easy to make fun of and, you know, joke with, you know. This person's probably very hilarious, or somebody who has, like, a very rich sense of humor. They're just so good at communicating. They're just so good at talking, you know. They're just so charming. And it's, like, they're very, like, invested, you know. Like, once again, like, they put a lot of importance in friends. And once again, they could be very afraid of commitment. They could be, like, a thrill of the chase kind of person, but whatever the case may be, like, this person is just like, they have like a very interesting relationship with their feelings and the way they go about, you know, their romantic relationships. And I feel like this person like hasn't been in a romantic relationship. I feel like once again this person is very in love with the idea of love, but when it actually comes to love, or like, you know, like when it actually comes to commitment, they're like you know. But I don't know, like, I feel like there's not much to say about this Hermit card here. I just feel like this person could be, like, they could be a loner, but somebody who simultaneously, like, craves love. But, like, once, like, they get that love back, it's just like, oh, you know. And I feel like the Hermit card is talking about the fact that this person may be on, like, a very solo journey right now. And, like, they may seem to not really fit in that much. And not, like, in a rude way, but, like, maybe they just, like, try to force themselves into groups all the time, or they try to like overly identify with their groups, you know, because they're so invested, and maybe because they do feel so out of place or like insecure about their like social status or about their like place in society, and maybe they've expressed it to you. But with the Hermit card, you know, that could also mean that they ghosted you, or they could have suddenly like left you, or suddenly just like not talked to you or something like that. But for a vast majority of you, it's pretty safe to say that this person definitely feels very curious about like where things could have gone had they reached out to you, or had they like made a move on you. And I feel like this person really wishes, like, they really regret what they did, and they really feel weird about it. And I feel like it's like with the Hanged Man, it seems to be perpetuating a bigger problem within them. But I'm gonna pull one more card before we kind of wrap things up here. Page of Cups. I definitely do feel as if though this person gets reminded by you from the smallest things, you know, like they see like a plushie and they're like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of pile 4. Like they see like a Starbucks drink that I used to get and they're like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of pile 4, you know, something of the sorts. There's something of significance in their life that is just like something that is like, you know, like a restaurant or something that they see, and it makes them think of you. But with the Page of Cups, I also feel like they are very emotionally immature, and somebody who is very emotionally unaware, probably very emotionally dense. They don't really realize what they're doing when it comes to their feelings, and I feel like they have trouble empathizing with people because they are so detached. And with the Page of Cups too, it's just like they could be somebody who just is very emotionally curious, but once they find out, they're very much not interested. It's like the vibe of like, you know, when you want to know what hot dogs are made of, but when you find out, you're like, oh my gosh, I literally wish I didn't know, you know? That's probably how this person feels about romantic relationships. I think I'm going to wrap up this reading, pile 4, by saying that this is somebody who is very like detached, and somebody who can also be very emotionally avoidant, and somebody who is very grounded in a specific way, and they are very invested in causes, and they're probably very invested in their social life and society as a whole, and probably put a lot of importance in social causes and their own identity and their own, you know, like place in society. And this person feels some type of way about you because of that, in the sense that like they are very curious as to how things would go, or like they're very curious as to how things would unfold with you, despite the fact that they are probably the ones that cut off the situation, or they are the reason why they you know, they didn't shoot their shot with you, you know. And they're probably a loner at heart, but they try so hard to fit in. And they're probably balancing a lot of different things in their life right now. But they're very capable of great effort, but like they also burn out very easily. And this is somebody who's very hot and cold. So yeah, that's all I have for you, pile 4. Thank you so much for listening. I hope the reading resonated. If it did, do like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, I love you so much. Bye.